Lost my whole voice, but the show must go on. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Reggie Casual. You know everyone likes a base brand, right? An essential brand to get them started in their fashion journey. Something that is easy to fit into the lifestyle that they choose to represent. And it's even better when you can find something amazing in unexpected places, or maybe expected, like say the country of Japan, which is what we kind of do here. And even though at this moment it's almost impossible to travel at the moment of this video because the world kind of sucks right now, that's okay, because I'm gonna bring Japanese essential brands to you, all with a range of styles so you can at least get some inspiration before you come. So these are 10 Japanese essential brands not named Uniqlo, because that's actually an important point. Most people will say Uniqlo. Uniqlo's not on this list. Let's get it. Rage Blue. Rage Blue is part of a conglomerate of labels by the ST Group here in Japan. And it's a great label for anyone wanting to dabble in Japanese silhouettes with familiar Western undertones. I say Japanese silhouettes because it's a little bit different as illustrated in the rest of this list, but at Rage Blue, you'll get pieces like trenches, chinos, sweaters, button-downs, dolmans, the whole nine. But the shape of said garments are noticeably wider, giving a more voluminous value to them. Another great thing about Rage Blue is the price. It's in that mid-tier range with frequent sales. Very, very generous sales, I should say. And it's just easy to go in there and pick up an entire look, an entire wardrobe really. Made easier by the fact that the entire brand looks as if each piece was meant to go with each other despite having a very huge selection. This is further cemented by its mostly earth tone color palette across many of those pieces. It's chill, low branded, which is key for essentials, but definitely a statement and a good starting point for anyone who likes this style. Hade. Hade is another brand under the ST Group, definitely worth a mention. It's actually a hybrid between technical design, tailoring, and street fashion. It's noticeably more refined and distinctly darker than say like Rage Blue, and the silhouettes mimic a more Japanese high-end design methodology. Note, Hade was the first brand that I personally got into when I came back to Japan until I ultimately moved on to designer labels like Yohji Yamamoto or Rick Owens, or, you know, just kind of in that field, albeit a little bit slowly, and a couple of Japanese underground brands. I ain't got money like that, but you hear what I'm saying. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the brand is. The silhouettes, again, are wider, but made with classic dressier textiles. As a result, a lot more pieces enter the mid-tier and up in pricing, but you absolutely get what you pay for. It's also one of the more experimental labels on this list. However, none of the pieces are so far gone that they come off as trendy. As a result, the pieces come off a bit timeless and can be worn despite the current trends, perhaps even outpacing them with the consistency. Public Tokyo. If you're looking for one of the most refined essential labels in Japan, Public Tokyo, full stop. It has all of the boxes checked. High quality garments, impeccable tailoring, experimental offerings, seasonal themes, and a big dose of Japanese design methodology. That being said, this brand is a bit on the higher end as far as price is concerned. For that reason, it becomes one of those upgrade labels for when you finally have the cash to replace the stuff you've either donated or recycled. Because, you know, we gotta be sustainable. That's what this is all about. Public Tokyo's style is pure classic contemporary with street elements to make it fun, so you won't miss out if you are more street centric. It'll also quite often dole out some incredibly meaningful statement pieces that can wow anyone from any genre. So that's always good. And again, it's low branded apparel, so you're squared in the minimal essential department. Takeoki Kuchi, say it the Japanese way, Takeoki Kuchi. Takeoki Kuchi is basically like the Japanese Gap in the sense that it has pretty much everything, albeit with a slightly different price structure. While Gap is pretty fairly balanced in pricing, Takeo is a bit of a wild ride, going from cheap everyday pieces to super deluxe high-end pricing, so be careful. However, a good deal of the brand is made in Japan, and it's one of the best if you're going for a classic menswear or womenswear look. And in that space, people who like that style, it works so well. Japanese design elements in Public Tokyo, like textile swapping and pattern work, are all present. Slight deviation of classic pieces make them seem new and refreshed, and tailoring is top notch. Definitely a place to go. It's absolutely perfect for those startup tech management types that take efforts to look smart, like chic, like smart, not like brainy smart, but you know, like smart. Ships, unlike Takeo Kikuchi, Ships has a way bigger range of looks, but similarly, the price fluctuates. But this label, for its essential pieces, within that massive range it has, that is Ships, has nearly no equal. Like Beams, which we'll talk about a little bit later, Ships is a select shop, but it primarily works off of its own brand to produce varying looks with all of the same kind of pieces. Seriously, it's quite amazing because Ships' whole premise is to educate customers on styling with basic, high-quality pieces. The brand speaks to customers with the highest of aptitudes, which there is no shortage of in Japan. So it works. The brand frequently collaborates with brands like Tumi and Champion and even has its own team to educate customers on how they style pieces. It's the ultimate fashion label for fashion enthusiasts. It's great. United Arrows / Monkey Time. United Arrows is a huge select shop company in Japan, second only to Beams. As such, it carries other brands within its walls besides its own. So that's easy enough to understand. That's why we're going to talk about its internal label, Monkey Time. In the country of Japan, and I say this with every ounce of confidence, there is no better brand for street essentials than Monkey Time. None. The silhouettes are noticeably oversized, and you do get that pinch of Japanese spice added to the mix. You know, textile swap and all that good stuff. What's more, they collaborate with other labels quite frequently, both domestically and internationally. Champion, Timberland, and even Wrangler make up some of the list, but domestic brands like the wonderful Gieda have some excellent pieces that they've done with Monkey Time. Price is mid to high tier with frequent sales to ease the burden of purchase, but it still can get quite expensive even on the aftermarket. And it's one of my personal go-tos for street-centric options, if that means anything to you. Seriously, I go to Monkey Time. If I want something like a high quality hoodie, that's the first label that I check out. Antiqua. If you're looking to explore Japan's drapey wide silhouettes for a relatively fair price, then Antiqua for both men and women is pretty solid. It gets the job done with middle of the road quality, even for its upper tier pieces. The best thing about Antiqua though is that instead of going unnecessarily dark like most silhouette driven brands tend to do, it's surprisingly mid-toned, making it great for those who like to play with color a bit and pattern as well. For me, it's the only brand that I buy plain t-shirts from, as they aren't overly expensive, but their cuts are pretty much better than everybody else. So if that is something that you're looking for, Antiqua is the brand that I would go to if you want to explore more varied options with more silhouette driven pieces. Reassor. Now, Reassor is a bit different. It isn't an essential brand entirely. It's a straight up street hybrid label, meaning it has clear street inspiration and undertones. So the question is, why is it on the list? Well, there aren't many labels out there that have a better selection of wide pants at the quality Reassor has them and at the price that they sell them for. None of them go over $200 basically, and they're incredibly well cut and durable. I know a lot of people look at like $100 price tags as expensive, but remember, these are essentials that we're talking about, and the best kind of essentials are the ones you only have to buy once. That retort aside, Reassor is a great label for those who oppose the skinny or regular cut pant but are partial to the taper those cuts provide. So you get a wide pair with a good taper, which is always excellent. North Hollywood. Besides being intentionally misspelled, Daisuke Obana's Mr./North Hollywood, it depends, you could call it whatever you want, it's a fantastic Japanese contemporary essential label. Classic pieces are given textile swaps that are surprising, but most importantly, it feels amazing. And that's the best thing about North Hollywood. It may not always wow you stylistically, it does employ the recognizable textile patchwork and slightly looser cuts seen in many Japanese brands, but its claim to fame is the comfort of those pieces. It's by far the most comfortable brand on this list due to Obana's painstaking process to create comfortable clothes that you can wear on any occasion, from your room to going to the coffee shop downstairs if that's how your city is mapped out. That means everything from streets to suits, you're getting comfort. And for that reason alone, it's pretty expensive, but totally worth it as an essential brand once you have the money to afford it. Beams, of course, right? Everybody was kind of waiting for this one if you know about it. But here's the thing, any and everybody who's been to Japan or at least studied a little bit about Japanese fashion has probably heard of Beams. It's a select shop with several different faces, and it offers up high quality, low branded pieces at mid to high tier prices. And even though the prices can get up there, you absolutely get what you pay for. And one of the best things about Beams is that it doesn't sacrifice experimentation for a bland lineup seen frequently in essential labels. The brand has an uncanny ability to morph trends into its design language and make timeless pieces from those trends. While Beams also sells other brands besides its own at its locations, the Beams apparel is made to go with those pieces. So it's just a great setup for you. It's basically a one-stop shop for various looks. And again, it has several iterations. You have the formal Beams F, the street classic Beams T, Beams Lights, and more. Point is, if there is one shop you should check out for fashion in Japan, Beams is that shop, as well as some of the others on this list, but Beams is the one that you really should be going to. And that's our list. But it's important to remember that Japanese look at essentials a little bit differently than in the West. Essentials for Japanese are the essentials for your style, not a standard piece or apparel setup that everyone has to have in order to be stylish. Kind of get what I'm saying? It all depends on what style you choose for them, and that determines what stores that they go to, which is why there's so many essential-like labels in Japan. The only caveat is that Japanese sizing is unforgiving for Western body types. So instead of giving you like size recommendations, I will say please make it a habit to understand your measurements before purchasing, because every Japanese site will have measurements for your convenience, or sometimes in the stores will have it for you too. Little side note though for the ladies, because I know we don't give enough love to the ladies. But when it comes to Japanese brands, you gotta be careful. If you have a standard Euro, Black, or Latin body type, it may be a bit tougher to find sizing applicable for you in Japan. And trust me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your body type, in my opinion. You are absolutely fine the way you are. Don't stop. But that being said, Japanese ladies tend to be incredibly slim, and so the clothes reflect that. So unless you have a similar body type, it's kind of rough in Japan. My suggestions take more influence and inspiration from Japan than flat out buying some of the pieces from Japan. However, you will find that many Japanese women take on street looks, and in that space, you definitely have a chance. Check out sites like Fashion Snap to give you even more ideas. That being said, are there any other Western or Japanese labels or otherwise you believe should have also made this essential list? Or you can talk about some of the ones that you like on this list. That's a good thing. You can say it all in the comments, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion, culture, and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I'll see you guys in a minute. And hopefully my voice is back. Hopefully, right now it's not. It sounds so bad. I hope you guys didn't just like, yo man, I can't take it. I can't take it, right? But it should be fine. You guys be okay.